talking about it and do something!
Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate.
Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent? Is your friend benevolent?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.
Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another edition of Gem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast. In tonight's jam-packed, flat-smacked show, we bring you the highest possible concentration of flat earth and conspiritard silliness from all across cyberspace. We've got flat-tards, Q-tards, tooth-tards, king-tards, and dog-tards. Excuse me. And if you don't know what all of those are, stick around for the next 2 hours to find out. I am your host, Gem, and joining me, as always, are just some of the cool kids from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. They are Kat, Scott, Curved, and Kosho was here but has since gone missing. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Hello. Got to shout out Nick, shout out Shroomy, shout out Baron Von Poopy Pants, shout out the Sultan of Stink.
I saw that. I'm telling you, you've got to do shout-outs. Okay.
Hold
Got
on.
to do shout-outs.
No super chat, no shout out.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Oh, I
Retracted.
like the
Shout-outs
idea of that.
retracted.
I do like that idea. I should probably switch it over so people could see the hangout. There. That's what we needed. I think chemo's not coming, apparently. Anyway, where were we? So, good week, gentlemen. Oh, happy birthday, America, I should say.
Happy birthday, America. I'm not American.
It
looks like they don't care.
It's July the 5th, so the day after the 4th. Okay, well, that went down well.
See, America.
Born on the 4th of July. It's Independence Day, Cat.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm for it. I like it. Let's go. Shout out.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that, actually. You're almost linking into the first clip. So you're into America. As a British person, Kat, you're into America. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, Jim. I'm thinking I might take the oath.
Yeah. Right. Check out these treacherous bastards.
And I'm not American. And I don't live in America. And I used to hate Donald Trump. I used to think that he was bad. And he'd be a bad thing for America. But that's because I listened to the mainstream media, CNN, ABC News, MSNBC. I listened to them. I allowed mainstream media to colour my perception of Donald Trump. When I realised that's what I was doing, I looked at him with fresh eyes. And I like what he's doing. He's made me want to be an American. He's made me want to come and live in America again. Because God knows that Clinton and Bush and Obama, they destroyed my dream of wanting to live in America. Trump brought it back. Trump brought it back. So, with that in mind, I take this oath. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I do solemnly swear that I support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and Great Britain.
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go all, and where we go one, we go all worldwide.
That's the Q-tards doing their thing. This time, Brit Q-tards doing their thing.
Yeah, listen up. They're traitors. I want our reparations for all that tea they stole off us, or whatever it was. Can't remember now.
It is a bit weird, though. I mean, I kind of thought this whole digital soldier, because the oath, I should say, is they're taking the oath to be digital soldiers as part of the whole QAnon thing. But it is a bit weird that British people are swearing allegiance to the United States of America. Don't you think?
I think it's stranger that they reanimated a corpse there. oh my God, that woman.
She was a little contrasting in her makeup, I think, is probably a polite way to describe it.
No, am I right? Am I right in thinking that that's the cream of the crop that we're getting there? That's the top of the line?
They are the best Brits we have to offer. That was 007, of course, who was doing the thing about how he loved Donald Trump so much. He made a sort of tribute to Donald Trump video a couple of weeks ago as well. Sort of, it was like, Don, you're my man, or something like that it was called. Very, very odd sort of Trump worship thing that goes on within this QAnon thing. But I know you're a fan, aren't you, Kat? So, you know.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I was just shouting out Ranty's hernia in the side chat. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Shout out Ranty's hernia.
Yeah, Ranty's hernia. Yeah, shout out to Ranty's hernia. Yeah, both of them, in fact. And to Ranty. It's good to see all three of you with us.
No, like I kind of do appreciate where they're coming from in a way. I know it is all a bit silly, but I mean, he is a flat earther. But I do understand, for now, I feel like there's a culture war at the moment. And it's not really split on countries, it's split on ideologies, you know what I mean? So I get that they're supporting that ideology. It's probably not the way I'd go about it. But I do support President Trump and his efforts, so you can all crucify me in the chat or whatever. But yeah.
Okay. Are they following the ideology, though? Or are they just following the meme? I accept that they may sort of, spout some of the ideology, but it seems to me you could hold that ideology without doing that oath. And swearing an oath to another country where you can't vote and where you're unaffected by its voting system is
weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
And pointless.
Yeah. It is pointless, yeah. It's just it's very similar to the virtue signaling they accuse others of doing in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's all a bit.
I mean, you could hold, right wing, or we would perhaps call it conservative views here, but it doesn't require that you swear allegiance to Donald Trump or to America.
I mean, am I crazy for thinking 200 years ago or 300 years ago that's borderline treasonous?
Yeah.
To say, yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think we should string him up.
Well, it's a good thing he's in Tenerife.
I don't really
get him.
But on that note, I would have a funny feeling doing that. I would have. It would feel weird to do that for another country. It's not.
Yeah,
right.
but they just watch videos all day about this, and they're just obsessed with it. Do you know what I mean? And
I think so.
They're not thinking straight. Because I do think there's problems going on. Like I said, I do support, but I don't think Trump's asking anyone either to do this either. So don't throw all Trump supporters in with these people.
Yeah, I would definitely want to stress that. I'm definitely not saying that all Trump supporters are QAnon people or are crazy or are taking oaths or any. I am not saying that. But I am saying,
though. All Trump supporters are QAnon crazies who absolutely. I also don't understand why so many people that don't live in America love Trump, and it's like, what?
So do you know what? I can explain this a bit, right? The reason other people around the world like Trump is because since Trump, other leaders in other countries sort of have been able to stand up a bit more, and I worry personally anyway, if Trump goes, a lot of our other leaders might just fold to the pressure of the radical communist agitators. So,
yeah. I'm not sure if I agree with you on this one.
No, you don't have to agree, but can you see my point? It's
Yeah.
not like, from my point of view, I feel like he helps other countries
But I think
stand up as well a bit.
I think Scott's right though. I think he does have this. Clearly, he does have this support in other countries, which is odd. I think, but also, I think he has a lot of the opposite in other countries. I think everyone's got an opinion on Trump, haven't they? And a lot of them have a negative opinion on him. I certainly do. So,
well, that's another good point actually as well. Is probably outside of America, you don't realize how we have to fucking hear about Trump every day in our media. So it is
right.
That's why we can't escape it. To be fair, it's every day something about Trump, and we do wonder why we're hearing about Trump all day when we're in England.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess I could be candid with my view. My view is this is a truly terrible president. That's what I think.
The Great White Hope. Jesse Lee fans all know.
That's what I reckon. Sorry, but
that's all right.
That's how it is.
We need to be free to have our own opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The question that people in the chat want answered is: has Kanye taken this oath?
Kanye. Why is Kanye? Is Kanye a Q, or is he a Q person or a Trump person?
I'm going to level with you, Jim. I just read a comment earlier that Shermy said talk about Kanye West, so I tried to work it in.
Kanye's running for president. No, he really is.
Excellent.
Is he?
Really?
He announced it yesterday.
Wow. Under what ticket?
Killer Mike.
Independent. Elon Musk has already co-signed him.
Wow. Now you're winding me up now.
I swear to God, I'm not. It's real talk.
Fair enough. Okay, let's have another quickie here. So we now know that the QAnon oath is not limited to Americans or even human beings.
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Where we go one, we go all.
That was Cash the dog there, saying his Q oath. He is also a digital soldier.
Is that not the cutest thing ever, though? Come on.
It is a cute dog, isn't it? I had to put it in there because to find those three Brits, I had to go through about 300 of these oaths on Twitter to find them. Oh my God. And in amongst them, I found this here doggy.
I love that.
Is that Lewis with us? It is. Say hello, Lewis.
Okay. I don't think your mic's working.
I don't think it is, mate. Not to worry. Have a fiddle, and then support Republican principles.
Okay, good. I'm doing better now.
Yeah, you're with us. Welcome.
Oh. There we go.
Yeah, Trump 2020.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention and I didn't see you arrive. I do apologise.
No, that's all right.
All right, well, let's get into it with some Flatty stuff now. Newbie Flatty, Rose777, did a show this week with guests Karen B and Richard, I can't remember his sodding name. We'll hear it in a minute. Here is Rose to tell us all about her first world problems. It's coming. And it's setting now. Oh, bollocks.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. This is Rose777 Good morning, everybody, and especially good morning to my very special guests today, who I'm so excited to talk to. We have Richard Lowe and Karen B in the house. Good morning, my friends. And just thinking about all of the rules in place that individually on their own don't make sense, but then together it's even more crazy. Think about it. If social distancing worked, then why do we need to wear masks? If masks worked, then why do we need a lockdown? And all of the above and mixed in with each other. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. People just can't see the ridiculousness.
And people are too cowardly to stand up for themselves and refuse to go along with it. So this whole home of the brave crap,
right?
I don't see it. Where is it?
Yeah, like fucking cowards.
Right, everybody playing like make believe. Let's all play make believe.
And I just want to remind everyone before we jump into this that right now is the time that we have all been mentally preparing for, without realizing that this is the critical moment where we're going to find out, what are you made of? What are you made of? Now that we made it here, I fucked up. Look, I don't have a garden right now. I just moved. And, you know, if shit hit the fan right now, I didn't prepare for this moment that I want basil and I can't get it outside. There are all ways that we all fucked up in our preparation for this moment because I drew the line. I'm not wearing a mask. So if I want basil and I go to the store and they won't let me in with the mask, well, then guess what? I have to start growing it or go drive another 15 minutes to get it. I have to figure out another alternative. I have to do what's inconvenient because right now my actions are either perpetuating morality or immorality. So what are you made of? Are you the type of person that wants to perpetuate nonsense so that you can live your secure life at this moment? Or are you willing to make sacrifices for the greater good of humanity? Because our actions right now matter. Our actions right now are creating our reality, and people don't realize the impact of this ritual because it is a ritual. And what really bugs me is not just that it's a ritual, but that the people that are conducting the ritual are laughing hysterically at how easy it is to get people to comply because they're afraid of some fine. And I will maintain that if you do get a fine, there are ways that you can fight this because these are illegal orders. And if everybody got fines, it's going to totally back up the system, and we can all fight back together in different ways. This is the time to be creative. What do you think, that they're going to throw everyone in jail? We have to be brave and willing to make sacrifices. So where are you going to draw the line? What are you made of? Now is the time that we're finding out. I know it sucks that right now, all of a sudden, we have to find out right now how much we're made of, but you have to be willing to look at yourself and accept who you are. Are you going to be a slave or not? I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to see pictures of your fancy designer masks with your statement of individuality or uniqueness. I don't care. You're not going to get any mercy from me. You're not going to get a pass from me. This is where I draw the line. This is my thing. So if you're looking for someone to be like, oh, okay, in your specific situation, I understand, you're not going to find it from me, and I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like someone catching you in like a kink fetish ball gag situation. It would be just as embarrassing to me. It really would. There's no difference seeing it as like that you have some kind of fetish for being a slave and that you get some kind of sexual pleasure from asphyxiation. That's the only reason why someone would wear it, in my opinion. But I had never really experienced living in a place where there was a higher percentage of Black people, and then moving to Louisiana right now, there's so many people that are just friends with each other, and I didn't actually see this segregation until right now with the masks. This is what I've noticed, and it's breaking my heart because when I go to Mandeville on the lakefront. Right. All of the people there on the lakefront, whether they're white or Black, right? Everybody's happy, smiling, not wearing a mask, right, and running together, smiling at each other, talking to each other. There's no racial segregation whatsoever in Mandeville. At the juice bar, everybody's walking in and everyone's pretty equal in the fact that we're not buying into the bullshit. However, when I'm driving around in Covington in almost 100-degree weather, I'm seeing Black people that are clearly lower in the socioeconomic scale, and they're wearing masks. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is not a racial thing that's going on right now. It's a socioeconomic problem where if you don't have the resources to take your time to research, you're just watching your television. And I just see the irony in it, because with the whole Black Lives Matter things and people are trying to have freedom and be against slavery, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I want to be like, wait, now is the time for you guys not to act like slaves.
So, are you more than 15 minutes away from the nearest supply of basil?
Basil.
In England, we say basil, and it's a herb with an H.
Well, tomato sauce just isn't the same without it.
So, what do you think to Rose 777?
I want to ask this question first. Who's dumber? Someone who lives near Lake Pontchartrain in the Causeway, such as Rose 777 apparently mentioning Mandible, or a Southern Hemisphere resident who still thinks the Earth is fucking flat?
I don't know. I did think she sounded a bit silly, though, going on about basil. And apparently masks are a socio-economic problem because people haven't been able to, they haven't got the resources to do their research. I should read out some super chats.
I thought that was so
piling in.
Though. Sorry.
Let me just read out these, get them out of the way. From Rocket Scientist. Happy 4th of July. What's the difference between the US and yogurt? They say yogurt. If you leave yogurt alone for 300 years, it develops a culture. And Kit says, God bless America. And thank you so much, Kit, for the $100 super chat. Oh, my God.
Whoa.
I know, my biggest ever. You're a star. And YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, it says. Let's hope we keep going. So, any thoughts?
Quit now. We got $100.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Rose 777?
Well, yeah. I mean, sorry. Go ahead, Kat.
No, you go. I've talked enough.
Well, no, I was just a comment on what she said. She said if masks were necessary, why are we social distancing? And if social distancing is necessary, I don't remember what the fuck she said. That doesn't make any sense. It's like okay, if condoms weren't necessary, would we have the pill?
Right.
And if you have the pill, then why do we have kids? It's like they're all extra. They're measures to protect from it. So I don't know. The whole thing was kind of weird that she even had that much passion about. I mean, a lot of people have this passion about people not wearing the mask. I don't know why.
Right.
In my opinion.
Well, I've made this point before, but I think we see it again with Rose. These people, they go on and on about their rights not to wear a mask, but mostly they seem to be concerned with the fact that other people are wearing masks and they want to stop them from doing it. That seems to be their main thing, What
kind of gets me about that as well is that they're worried about their rights and they're missing the forest for the trees or whatever they say, as usual, because we're being locked down. Businesses are being forcibly shut.
Right.
I mean, like loads of money's been printed or wherever they're getting it from and just thrown at people without real much checks. Isn't that more the rights they should be worried about? But sorry, not about the money or whatever, but isn't that the rights they should be worried about, whether they have to wear a stupid mask?
Right.
And there's part of it too is just so cringe to me though. It's like entitlement looking for drama, because it's like, I get that masks are an inconvenience. That's true. Fine. And I get that things are shutting down, all that. But like when you look at history or you look around the world at people who are actually suffering, rebellion or revolution style constraints, we're talking about people who, in the 1960s, like Like 17 assassinations happened in the U.S. in 3 years or something like this. It was insane. Dogs are getting released on people as they run from looting. And like go around the world, you'll find all kinds of conditions where, yes, okay, that's a situation where you want to see people rising up and talking about not being slaves. Wearing your mask to go get your basil is not a situation where you need to talk about not being a slave. I just don't. It doesn't.
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Right. It's and apparently she might be inconvenienced enough to have to go an extra 15 minutes to get basil. Which just, come on.
Well, she really fucked up by not having a garden. She dropped the ball on that one.
Right. I know.
You heard what she said, man. Even if you have a cool, like, stylized mask on with a nice design on it, you're gonna get no mercy from her, man.
Right.
You get no mercy at all.
I haven't really worn a mask, and I mean the weird thing is where I live, there's a lot of Malaysian and Chinese students, so there's a lot of people wearing masks all the time anyway. Before all this came along, it's just not an unusual sight where I live. But I generally don't. But I went on the bus the other day, and you have to on the bus, and I didn't really like it, I have to say. It's but you do it because, and I'm glad it's a rule on the bus because now I feel safe getting on the bus. And before it was a rule, I got on that bus and I was like, sort of sitting there almost clinging on to myself with the thought of how filthy it could be and how many germs I could be surrounded by, because the buses where I live are busy, there's hundreds of thousands of people traveling on them every day, Go ahead, Lewis. Tell us about buses.
Well, in the very small bus system that I live in or work in, we clean the buses regularly. Each bus that's en route probably gets cleaned at least at a minimum twice a day. And masks are you're asked as a passenger to wear a mask, and we provide them as well. But we don't force you to take them, and we won't kick you off the bus if you don't wear one.
We've made it a law here, apparently. The bus told me that repeatedly on my journey. It kept reminding me it was the law.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I would hate that.
Yeah, the bus talks to you here.
Like, I don't know. Here in America, I don't think most places are citing you if you don't have a mask. And I think it would be a problem if they did. I think they would have a huge... their jails would just get full because people would just intentionally get arrested for that, right. Which they wouldn't. What they're doing is they're trying to have the businesses enforce it. They put out the executive order from the governor, which in some states doesn't have to be followed. It varies depending on your state and what type of executive order it is. But a lot of executive orders you don't have to follow, but they want here in Kansas, they want the businesses to enforce that. But I don't know if there's a penalty the business will face if they don't enforce that. So I'm not really sure how backed this stance is.
It's a little different in Texas because we actually were talking about this the other day because we had the mandatory. The bus thing has been a thing for like 6 weeks maybe, or maybe 2 months, where you had to wear one on the bus, but that was basically it. I mean, there's some businesses in the city where you had to wear one, but ever since I think Monday, I got a text message and it said the entire state of Texas, if you're in public, any public place, I guess indoors maybe, but I guess any public place, and you're not wearing a mask, then the first time you'll get a warning, but the second time you can get up to $250 fine at this point.
Wow. Yeah. I think a lot of people here would refuse to pay that. But that's basically the same order here. If you're inside, you got to wear a mask. That's the basic order.
Okay, quick bit of housekeeping. I'm still getting these messages about the stream quality being poor, and somebody just put something in the chat about it as well. So all I can do is apologize for that at the moment. Hopefully it will improve. I haven't done anything different. I think it's just YouTube being YouTube. And also another super chat from Halsoy, who says, on this note, we used to clean taxis several times a day, including sterilization for hospital fares. We we'll have to listen tomorrow night, nerds. So I think he's off to bed. Yeah, so anyway, yeah. Shall we have a bit more from that hangout? Let me just see what I've got on this one. Yes. Yes. Returning to Rosie's hangout, here is Richard to enlighten us with the latest updates on the FEMA camps in New Zealand, of all places. Take a look.
What a creepy fuck. Oh my gosh.
Now watch this, guys. Watch this, guys. Now you guys know about the androgynous and gender, right? Right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now watch. Hold on. Let me go. Hold on. Let me try to get this. Let's watch this. Okay. You see this right here? Watch this part. This is a man. It's called androgynous agenda. Look it up. Okay. If you look at all these people that are in control, these are some sick fucks we're dealing with. They're all like men dressed up as women. They're cross-dressers. Okay. And this is what's going on. They're all in power. Okay. And watch this. Let's go and watch this again. Let's do it. Let's do it. Anybody let's use Occam's razor. Okay. Or anybody with a critical thinking mind. Okay. They're laughing at us. Okay. These are creeps. Okay. So let's stop this right here. And I'm going to show you this other video, what she that just came out, what she said. Check it out. I'm going to play this right now. Let's go.
Users in our facilities to be tested, they have to keep staying. So they won't be able to leave after 14 days. They have to stay on for another 14 days. So it's a pretty good incentive. You either get your tests done and make sure you're cleared, or we will keep you in a facility longer. So I think most people will look at that and say, I'll take the test. I've got a number of questions about people refuse. What do we do if someone refuses to be tested? Well, they can't now. If someone refuses in our facilities to be tested, they have to keep staying. So they won't be able to leave after 14 days. They have to stay on for another 14 days. So it's a pretty good incentive. You either get your tests done and make sure you're cleared, or we will keep you in a facility longer. So I think most people will look at that and say, I'll take the test.
That was
Fuck that bitch.
Prime Minister Jacinda.
Did you see that? So this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with some evil stuff right here, Rose, Karen, and everybody in the chat room. These people are sick. And they planned this out, Research Event 201. They planned this out a long time ago. Now, this is Prime Minister of New Zealand. If you're in New Zealand, you're fucked. What she's saying is, if you don't get tested, she's going to keep you locked up in her facility, in their facility. So now she's saying that if you don't get tested, you're going to stay an additional 14 days in her facility. The FEMA camps. So and she's smiling about it. So they're doing these trial things. You don't think that's going to be coming this way? This is what's going on. They're gonna force it upon us. And just like you said before, huh?
They can't. That's insane. There's no way that they would get away with indefinitely. Well, you think they would? No way you could get away with indefinitely detaining somebody against their will. For something that, they can't even prove that this virus is real, but the problem is nobody's asking them that. Nobody's making them prove it's real. Everybody just assumes it is.
Where's the evidence? No one's died from COVID-19.
So that was a little sort of conspiracy theory in the making there, I think. That was Jacinda Ardern, who's the Prime Minister of New Zealand. I'll fill everyone in, I think. What she's talking about is New Zealand has basically closed its borders. So you can only get into New Zealand if you are a returning New Zealander or a person with a legal right of residency in New Zealand, a foreigner who's returning. So they're the only people allowed in New Zealand, and they are all being quarantined in hotels, not in FEMA camps. And so that's what she's talking about. Those people are going into quarantine for 2 weeks, and if they aren't tested, then they keep them for another 2 weeks to make sure that they're clear if they refuse to be tested. But I guess probably nobody has anyway. So that's what she's talking about.
Depends how nice the hotel is, I guess.
Right.
Hey, Jim, technically in New Zealand, they are FEMA camps, as they call them, because that stands for Federal Emergency Marriott Accommodations.
So, but they've, of course, with a bit of clever editing, they just have her talking about facilities. And, if you actually root out this video, which is just actually her Facebook post, believe it or not, she just does regular Facebook posts. And it's from that, and that's what she's talking about. She's basically answering questions that have been put to her through Facebook in a vlog, which I thought was pretty cool. She seems like a very natural leader, that one. She seems very, very comfortable in the role, I thought. Anyway, your thoughts, gentlemen.
I thought her forehead ratio was suspicious. You didn't mention that. As IPS once taught me, that's a sign.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that whole part of it. Yeah.
It's so mean, isn't it? I don't know why people, this like a lump in her trousers or whatever, like a crease.
Right.
look at that crease. I don't know.
That was an unfortunate crease.
Yeah.
What was the point of bringing that up? I mean, I didn't need it for their authoritarian conspiracy, which I actually tend to agree with them. It's not necessarily about the accommodations. It's what they're complaining about is that it's a mandate. It's that they can control you and tell you that if you don't comply, then we'll just hold you longer.
Well, how's that anything new in a government? I mean, there's a million ways in which they control us every day since you're born. You can't go past the speed limit. You can't, do this. You can't do that. It's what the government does.
Yeah, this is a lot more though.
It's like a slippery slope, isn't it? If you're not careful, it's like maybe this is an emergency now or whatever.
Right.
But what?
I don't know though, because ultimately it's a border control, isn't it? And
yeah.
And there's all sorts of things that could come into play at the border. If someone was thought to be, have some sort of serious illness in any circumstances, at any time. So I bet there's already legislation in place that could hold someone, at least for some reasonable amount of time until you can be sure that they're not, a danger to everyone else. So
yeah,
and New Zealand has been very effective at dealing with this. I think it helps that it's an island that's nowhere near fucking anywhere. That is useful.
So were there quote FEMA camps? Were those only for people that were coming into the country?
Yeah, it's only a border control.
Yeah.
It's not about the general population, which is how these guys were presenting it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's an important distinction.
Right, I think so. So nobody else has to be. If you go on their websites, their government website, they've just got all the standard stuff like we've got on ours. Get yourself tested if you're showing symptoms. If you're in one of these particular high risk groups, you should. This sort of thing. They're not demanding that everybody does.
The sort of thing I would be worried about is, especially as testing becomes more and more prevalent, they'll say, all right, if you're within, this demographic, say you're a young guy, which means you probably will exhibit no symptoms, but you'll still be able to give it to other people. Now you have to get tested. And if you don't get tested, you can't go to work, or you can't go to the grocery store, or you can't do these other things. And that's something that I would be worried about. And then once the vaccine comes out, they'll say, okay, if you don't get the vaccine, then you won't be able to go to work or something like that.
I think I keep hearing these scare stories about vaccines, but I just don't know whether that's ever going to happen. Because I think from a practical basis, if they pass some sort of legislation like that, where it was seriously limiting for people who hadn't been vaccinated, they're going to create a demand for vaccinations which they will not be able to fulfill, and they will force people in a situation where they either break rules or can't do stuff because there just isn't
right.
I mean, a vaccine doesn't even exist yet.
Not yet. Now there's a potential answer to that, the demand for it, which is they're making it an RNA vaccine. Now, this information I got like a couple of months ago. I read it in an article on The Atlantic, but it's possible the information's changed. But an RNA vaccine is different from any type of vaccine that we've created in the past. And there are a couple of significant advantages. The first one is that it can be produced very quickly and in large quantities. And then the other advantage is that it's cheap. It's cheap to make. So they can flood them out and make them very accessible to everybody. A disadvantage is that the immunity you get won't last as long as a traditional vaccine. So people have to get more and more of them over time, like every couple of months or so. And just briefly, the way it works is they inject some RNA into you. Some of that will make it into the nucleus of some of your cells. Those cells will then produce the spike protein that exists on the coronavirus itself, and that will train your immune system to recognize the spike protein and take care of it.
Right. Fair enough. I'm going to read a couple of super chats. Sorry, just to follow that up. Kanga24. Kango, is that? Sorry, I'm struggling to read on the green background. Yes, New Zealand has been very effective at combating the virus. It's pretty great. Thank you for that super chat. And I believe he did another one as well, I think. Where's that one gone? Yeah, he says, I live in New Zealand. It's no issue. We're happy to comply because we are not idiots. Does these nutters have children? So he makes a point, obviously, about protecting children from.
I would like to stress the point because obviously we're getting a lot of grief and stuff, our country, but we have a lot more people travelling internationally in and out of our country compared to New Zealand.
Right,
it's not even comparable.
And
give us a break, yeah.
It is New Zealand, only like 4 people live there. So it's, fairly easy.
Yeah, exactly. And one of them's Gary the sheep.
Yeah.
Half of them are in our server.
Yeah. Well, I lived in New Zealand as a child for 2 years, and I love it. I thought it was the most wonderful country ever. It's just a fabulous, fabulous place. If you ever get the chance to visit, you should definitely visit. It's a wonderful country with wonderful people, I promise you.
I actually want to emigrate there, to be fair. Make friends with Gary the sheep.
If you go there, if you go back there right now, I think you'll get a free stay at the Marriott.
You won't. Yeah. You won't because I wouldn't be allowed in.
Yeah.
You can only get in if you're in New Zealand, I think. Although I do have legal right of residency, I think, but I think I'd have to go there to prove it. So that might be difficult.
Well, you can stay at the Marriott while you're doing that.
Yes. All right. Shall we make a final visit to Rose 777's Hangout, where Karen B provides some natural dental care advice? Coming up.
Okay, sure. Okay, so I have this tooth. It's a premolar. This one. And I bit down on it and I cracked it in half, like laterally up the tooth. Okay. And it started to get infected. And I started to use colloidal silver and I got some DMSO. And what I was doing initially when the pain started to get really bad initially, I took some raw honey. I put a few drops of DMSO and a few drops of colloidal silver and I mixed it all up in the honey. And then I was putting it right up under my gums, right around where it was hurting. And I did that a few times a day the first day. That started to knock it out right away. Then the next day I had to do a little bit less. And the next day a little bit less. I haven't had to do that for a couple weeks now. What I do is I still do the colloidal silver to keep control, to keep the infection away. And I started using MMS. as well. Or is that what? Yeah, MMS. So I do the thing with the MMS where you mix 10 drops of it and then put a half a cup of distilled water, and then I brush my teeth with that. And then I also use the rest of it to rinse my mouth. And that also disinfects your mouth, and it helps keep the infection away. So that's what I've been doing. I haven't had any more pain. I still am very careful, though. I also had to change my diet. What I've also been doing, I've sort of added supplements to my diet. I bought all kinds of supplements. I bought magnesium, like pure magnesium. I bought calcium phosphate. I bought vitamin D. I stopped eating bread. I stopped eating pasta. I stopped eating all sugar. You can't eat any sugar. You have to avoid sugar like the plague. So I don't eat sugar. Literally nothing. No grains, no corn, none of that. So I had to stop eating all that. Also gargling with hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so I've been doing all these things, and now I don't have any pain. I haven't had pain for quite a while. So there's no pain. The infection's not coming back so far. Now I can still feel it, but here's the thing though, it was loose. Like I could feel the loose part inside. That part is not as loose as it was before. So I don't know if it's getting better, because you really have to be very, very strict, because your teeth are not going to heal unless you constantly keep your mouth clean and you give yourself the supplements that your body needs to rebuild.
Right.
So, dental advice there from Karen B.
Where she's like, I haven't had any pain. In fact, I haven't had any pain for a while. I'm just completely numb all over.
Yeah.
Sounds like it works great. Don't eat sugar, don't eat bread, don't eat pasta, no grains, no normal food at all. Only eat silver and eat chlorine, and you're not going to feel pain anymore.
Drink bleach.
I know, oh my God. It's just the things they claim to be all sort of au naturel with this stuff. And then they put the most, unbelievable crap inside their bodies. I mean, astounding, really, I thought.
I wonder, well, I guess we'll find out what the effects of bleach are on the teeth.
Yeah.
Can't imagine it would be good.
Bleach and honey.
Turn your teeth white, turn your lips white.
Yeah, Karen, if you're watching, Karen, don't do that. You need to stop.
Yeah, go to the dentist, silly girl.
Yeah.
Really?
Also, go ahead, Curve. Go ahead.
Why go to the dentist when the thing's probably almost fused back together by now?
That's a good point.
Teeth do that, right? They just heal like broken bones. They'll just a cracked tooth, it'll just heal. Right. Yeah.
Well, maybe her regime will work.
But didn't she say that at the end? She was like, your teeth can't heal, so we've got to look after our mouths. I've got to do all this shit to heal my tooth.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Don't eat any sugar, but be sure to pack the site full of honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she was eating, but I don't know if that's like a common thing that when you bite on things, like your tooth cracks in half. Seems like a pretty, seems like a serious problem, like something that you definitely should see a dentist about if your tooth is cracked in half. I don't know if honey and chlorine's gonna help.
Yeah, it's probably loads of drinking drugs is why she can't feel it. Because that's got to be hurting.
Okay, so Google says that bleach will damage the enamel of your teeth and also cause, which will be no surprise, irritation to the gums. Just irritation.
Just a bit.
I know we're saying bleach, and I mean, I'm not 100% sure what exactly it is, but it's like chlorine dioxide. And I'm not sure what the difference between, I'm not sure how much different that's going to be than just bleach. But either way, it doesn't sound, it's not like the dentist is giving you this stuff. So, I don't know.
Well, if you go on the wiki page, it says, this is an industrial bleach.
There you go.
So I got a super chat from Digital Demonic Davros, who says 100 watching. Well done. Only a few thumbs up. Boo. Awesome work, Gem. Hope the new computer happens soon. Yes, I got a new computer. From a GoFundMe, and I haven't bought it yet. But I will buy it this week, I promise. I was meant to sort it all out last week, but I was sick as a dog at the beginning of this week. I almost didn't do a show today, but I dragged it together at the last minute. So I promise faithfully, people who donated to my computer, I'm sorry for the delay, and I will sort it out. But I did only get, actually, the last of the money last Monday. So it did take a while from when everyone donated for me to get the cash. Anyway, new computer coming up, I promise.
Don't make this one of them ranty drone situations.
No, I won't. No, I won't.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Well, like I say, it's only 6 days ago since I had the money, so it's not been that long. But I will sort it out in the next couple of days. It's just, I was feeling so shit. I just went to bed sort of till Thursday, basically, this week. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Any more on that one?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if this is worth reading, but I think probably on the same Wikipedia page, I see two kind of conflicting details about this chlorine dioxide. Because at one point it says it has. Oh no, okay, good. No, it's not conflicting. It says it's been fraudulently marketed as an ingestible cure for a wide range of diseases, including COVID-19. It also says child. So I guess it's a fraudulently marketed. So I thought it said frequently, but it says including childhood autism, and then it says children who have been given enemas of chlorine dioxide as a supposed cure for child autism have suffered life-threatening ailments. I'm just thinking, like, what the hell's going on with people?
Did I mention that before? I almost included it. I think it was last week's show or the week before when I stumbled across this. And it is absolutely terrible, where there are parents who are treating autism with MMS. And it's bad. It's really bad. But they go through the child's poo and find these bits of their intestine that
oh God.
And they think they're finding these bugs. They call it going hunting, and they post pictures of these to Facebook of these where it's their intestines coming out in their poo.
I wonder if there's. I mean, that's definitely why the CPS exists, right? In America, it's a Child Protective Services, right?
There's a number of Facebook groups. There's a name for it. I can't remember what the name is, but there's a number of Facebook groups that surround it, and there's been moves to try and shut these groups down, and Facebook have shut some down, but they keep springing up, and they're not they're careful who they let in,
Well, they're just trying to conduct their own research. We need to leave these shit stirrers alone.
That's fair. I just want to say, because I don't know these parents. I can't say anything to them. But I'm saying to Karen B. Fuck you, Karen B. Stop promoting this shit.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. Well said.
All right. Next, a commercial break.
The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool for discovering Flat Earth and introducing it to friends and family. It visually shows how the sky is a perfect clock and brings you the latest Google censored Flat Earth content. The FAQ page will answer all your questions on how and why Flat Earth is hidden. Take the Flat Earth Clock Challenge. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. Just search Flat Earth Clock in Google Play or the Apple App Store. It will be the best $2.99 you've ever invested.
And that was that silly old app, which I know has been around a while, but the commercial is new. So I just thought I'd whack it in there for us all to have a little giggle at.
Well, where's that? I'm sorry, go ahead, Kat.
I was just gonna say I'll trust any commercial with Microsoft Sam voice on the top of it or whatever voice that.
Is that what that was? Was that like a robot voice?
I think it's a robot voice, isn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not have been, but the good ones, they sound like that. They sound almost like
a good one.
But right. So where's that promoted? Like, it's not on TV or anything. So where's that like?
No, that was just off David Weiss's channel. He's kicking that thing around.
Oh, okay. He's probably putting it up online or something like that too.
Yeah, I think he's just had this new commercial made. I guess he paid someone on Fiverr or something to do it. You're not buying the Flat Earth Sun and Moon app, Lewis?
No, I think the more people use that, the more that's got to be one of those things where you get it and you're so excited to finally have a tool to show you how things actually are laid out, and then you realize that it doesn't make any fucking sense.
He tells people it works perfectly. Those were the words he used when he was telling Owen Benjamin about it. He said it works perfectly.
Really? But his app can't say that, otherwise they could get him, couldn't they, legally?
I think it does work perfectly, though, if you go with his premise that when you get to the southern hemisphere, everything is south. Whatever way you're looking, that's south, if you need it to be for the Flat Earth Sun and Moon app.
All right, I don't want to think about it too much, sorry.
Well, south is every direction, isn't it, on the Flat Earth? Every
yeah, well, yeah, I get that. So he's just done the... Okay, yeah, whatever.
Eventually, maybe, but you have to cross north to get there a fair amount of the time.
Yeah.
South should be the opposite of north. And
you would hope so, wouldn't you?
There might be some problems with that app. Lewis has highlighted a very valid complaint here.
He's quick to market this thing though, right? Because didn't on the Flat Earth conference somebody did some what do they do? The sky riding or whatever? Or no, it wasn't sky riding. It was like a banner in the sky.
Right.
Yeah, about the globe, and then he responded with an ad for his app.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I wonder if anybody downloaded it. I bet they did. Someone who wasn't a flatty and just saw the aircraft going by with that banner behind it. I would probably do that. Just for curiosity's sake. All right, well, shall we have something else off David Weiss's channel?
Really?
Yeah. It's a short one. Okay. It's a quick look at veteran flatty Dan Pratt, who featured in this video made by DIRTH. Dan is cross at the quality of our arguments and provides an example of his own powerful argumentation.
Okay, this one is neither proof here nor there. It's just another example of how these lying globe priests will continually use fallacies to try to influence your pattern of thought. They keep trying to come and say that Starlink and Elon Musk and SpaceX have proven the Earth isn't flat because they've got these supposed satellites flying, orbiting the imaginary globe. In order for that to be proof of anything regarding flat Earth, your contention would have to be that it would be impossible for them to fake it. In other words, there is no way with the drone technology we have, with the already reported supposed solar plane we have that supposedly circumnavigated the Earth, that it would be impossible for them to put some sort of craft in the air with a trail of lights behind it and call it satellites. You're claiming that's impossible on a flat Earth, that there's no way they can put a plane in the air, string some lights behind it, and say, look, we put satellites around our globe. This is the kind of asinine proof they continually try to use to prove their globe. Because once again, if you hold them and demand they use actual science and measurements to prove curvature in a standing body of water, they are fucked. They cannot do it. Because the minute they try, they are going to prove the flat Earth. It's that simple. That's how this works. So this is why I will continually demand, measure and prove that a standing body of water curves due to gravity. You will be waiting a long time for them to actually do it. Because the minute they do, the globe is gone.
Oh, Dan Pratt. He's so serious, isn't he? 5 years
He's got
been
this
sat
cra-
there doing that.
Oh dear, his eyes are so crazy, aren't they? Always like really kind of wide open. Like.
So he thinks it's okay to just say, oh, well, it could be aeroplanes with strings of lights behind them. And that's apparently okay.
That's true.
I think he's trying to imply that those are drones, isn't he? Starlink's drones.
Yeah, yeah, I think he was. Those drone displays are impressive, though, aren't they? Don't you think?
They are. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're incredible.
Yeah. They really
unfortunately.
Oh, was that real?
Oh,
yeah.
What I got out of them was a craft towing a string of lights behind it.
Yeah, that was Dan's idea. I think David Weiss's idea was the drone displays. He'd stuck that stuff behind Dan and added that earnest music, which he always does.
Oh my God.
Equally stupid.
Right, yeah.
And demonstrably false. Impossible. I mean, it's simple math, but I'm not going to go into it. We all know it.
Hey, be honest, it's really complicated math.
But there seems to be this idea, doesn't there, in Flat Earth, that all you have to do is come up with any ad hoc thing that it could be, and then that's that dealt with. I don't have to think about that anymore.
Right.
It could be this, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't see why he thinks it's a logical fallacy anyway. There is no known technology that can do that can replicate Starlink that wouldn't be a satellite.
Right.
I don't understand that. And any problem that you have with explaining why different people on different places of the Earth see the moon the way they do also applies to these drones. So I don't know. I don't know how all the problems you have with observing the sky on a flat Earth extends to these drones, and it doesn't make sense to me why he thinks that's a good argument.
Right. I agree.
Why are you looking at the sky to prove the shape of the Earth, man? Stop looking at the sky.
It's fun to throw their arguments back at them. Another super chat from Spooked, who says, my contribution to the globe lie. And then it says,
Kappa.
What does that mean?
It's a Twitch emoji of this guy. Kappa.
Oh, right.
That's a Twitch meme. It's a Twitch meme.
Okay. I'm so old. Sorry.
I don't know. I think it basically, I might be misunderstanding the meme, but I think it basically just means like keck.
No, it's just like a smug face. It's this dude.
Yeah.
It's just got this sort of like, so you say it, it's kind of sarcastic. It's, do you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh,
okay.
man.
Well, thank you for the super
we're such
chat,
boomers.
Anyway, thank you.
Hey, this is it's an honest comment, by the way. I'm not sure. I think I've asked somebody did already tell me, but I don't want to dox no one. But that dude who was just speaking in that video, if anyone knows just what general region he may preside, and this is an honest comment. I think I was at this gas station by my house the other day, like a week ago, at the subway, And I swear to you, I thought that it was that guy. Like that guy had come in. I was like, isn't that the guy from? Because I'd seen that video or a video like that one. I swear, I think it's the same guy. So I'm just trying to see.
He does. You might be able to figure it out because he does like a food drive thing, doesn't he? Every Christmas or something like that. He does some sort of charitable thing.
I mean, if he lives around the corner from me, that'd be the most exciting thing that's happened in a long time.
Kit says I'm in the cool club now. Now I know about Kappa. Thank you, Kit. Yeah.
If you ever see him out again, Kosho, you just slip him one of those flat Earth signs, flat Earth hand signs.
Yeah, I'll make sure put my hand high too. Yeah.
He's been uploading, 3 or 4 videos a day, like every day for the last 5 years, though, as Dan Pratt. I mean, it's just him being angry at people. Digital Demonic Davros says, Kosho, pimping ain't easy.
Damn sure ain't, huh? That's Pimp Davros telling that shit, so it's important.
All right, shall we have what's next? Yes, bit of a long one. You're going to like this, or maybe not. In yet another attempt to breathe life into his dying channel, Catchphrase King Nathan Oakley called out million-sub science YouTuber Thunderfoot this week, and Thunderfoot responded. Here are clips from those videos, plus Oakley's deranged final response. Enjoy.
Now I understand what Einstein was saying. That there are only 2 things that are infinite. The universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the former.
Whilst punting the rhetoric the priests of heliocentrism have given him about a sky vacuum, second law of thermodynamics violation, gas that's not filling it, whilst demonstrating to a guy with a vacuum dryer that that's not really how vacuums work. Right, mate. But they work like that with Earth in space, do they? No, mate, that violates natural law.
He's got to be faking it for comic effect. But no, it's absolutely real. And not only is it real, people actually give him almost $400 a month to do this. This flat earther is going to call me out for my lack of knowledge of science, particularly astronomy. He's come prepared. He's got a killer question, which he thinks is going to stump me on astronomy.
Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without a container?
We're waiting for demonstration of otherwise.
Oh boy, where to start? Well, you know that big warm glowy thing in the sky? The sun. You know what it is? It's a giant ball of gas. Curiously enough, with no container, exposed to that same 10 to the minus 17 tall vacuum. Yet, oddly enough, it doesn't shoot off into space somehow. Odd that. And how do we know it's a big ball of gas? Why? From the spectrum, of course. In fact, you know helium. You know why it's called helium? Because it was first discovered from the spectral lines of the sun. And that was before it was discovered here on Earth.
But you're also telling them about how gas pressure works, calling yourself a scientist when you do maths, and purveying this idea that we live on a sphere with gas pressure in a vacuum. He's even got pictures of it.
Or hell, what about Jupiter? Also, kind of a giant ball of gas without a container. Somehow happily sitting there. How did you say violating the second law of thermodynamics?
No, your example actually includes a second law of thermodynamics violation, even though we're essentially doing the same thing, exposing it. I just do it better than he does because I don't claim science where there isn't any. He does. Now, without getting into the moans about, well, you get held up and praised, 900,000 subscribers, I get called a shill and ridiculed for being a flat earther. But that's excused by the masses, because they're all programmed with this to believe the sky is a vacuum.
It's called gravity, you muppet. And the great thing about gravity is I don't think even the flat earthers deny gravity. You know, if I get an object with mass and another object with mass, they're attracted to each other. And it's something you can simply measure in the lab.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No.
Okay, apparently they do deny gravity. But, okay, fine. They must at least acknowledge that if they drop things, they fall towards the ground. We'll call that gravity for the moment. And gravity is awesome because if I drop two objects, one of them light, one of them heavy, they both fall at the same speed.
Well, in my left hand I have a feather. In my right hand a hammer. And I guess one of the reasons we got here today was because of a gentleman named Galileo a long time ago. And I'll drop the two of them here, and hopefully they'll hit the ground at the same time. How about that?
Put it in a more concise way, what we're defining is the fact that in the heliocentric model, the spinning ball Earth religion, as you phrase it, you've got a pressurized system. We all observe gas pressure. We're breathing it in and out right now. But it's right next to a vacuum. So there's no lid, in essence.
That's why we asked, show us the non-physical container.
Gee, not so sure I can make this any simpler, but I'll try. Imagine you've got some perfectly bouncy balls in a fish tank, and the fish tank has no lid on it, and none of those balls have enough energy to bounce out of the box. Now imagine those balls are actually gas molecules, and boom, you have a lidless container holding a finite pressure of gas. So yeah, knowing little more than if you drop an object, then it will fall, and that gas molecules are objects, you can understand why things like the sun, which are basically giant balls of gas, even though they don't have a container, they don't evaporate into space. And the same goes with Jupiter and Saturn, or hell, for that matter, any planet with an atmosphere. Now, our flat earther here seems remarkably offended that I get praised for debunking crap while he gets criticised for spouting it.
You said cherry picking. It wasn't. Hello? You were wrong.
Remember what he said.
Have some humility, you bonehead. Say, oh, right, I was wrong. I accused somebody of using fallacious reasoning, that would be cherry picking, ignoring a completely contextually different statement that preceded or followed what was read out. That did not happen. So are you going to apologise?
No, I won't.
No, that's because you're a wanker. Like all of your brethren. Like all globe scum who come here. Like Thunderfoot or whatever the fuck his name is. Laughing at us. Yeah? When they declare total nonsense. It's an absolute outrage. You think you've got the right to laugh at us and claim fallacy, and you don't even know what the fallacy is. But you won't apologise. What an absolute disgusting human being you are. But you think you can laugh at me, you fucking moron.
You should be thanking us for teaching you something.
Show me how.
Yeah, I'm telling you off. I'm a flat earther telling a retard clown, globehead, off. You listening, Thunderfoot? This is what you'd get. You'd have me, the flat earther, telling you off and you laughing while I berate you for your unbelievable stupidity. Like this dumb fuck. The people in authority here are not you globehead retards. It's us. And you're going to damn well know about it. And I am going to be the one to tell you, clowns. It doesn't matter if it's you, George Musa, Neil deGrasse Tyson, or this clown Thunderfoot. I will tear a strip off you and expose you. Then I'll tell you off. And you'll damn well sit there and take it from the flat earthers. I'm telling all of you globehead fuckwits. Telling you, not asking, not requesting permission, telling you. And you're gonna damn well like it.
Tenderfoot, where are you?
Yeah, Thunderfoot, I'm gonna make you my bitch, you fraud clown. Yeah, I'm gonna set out to make it my personal responsibility to get a snivelling retraction like you got from that clown who put in a fake DMCA claim against you and you've got on your channel snivelling like a bitch. I'm going to make it my personal task to make Thunderfoot snivel like a bitch like that guy he humiliated for his fake DMCA claim. I'm going to have Thunderfoot snivelling like that little bitch. for how fucking wrong he is and how unbelievable stupidity he spouted to his audience of almost 100,000 people. How he doesn't understand intermolecular bonds. How he uses imagination to flog his product, just like all the clowns he debunks. So, yeah, Thunderfoot, if you're not listening, I hope someone shares this with you. Because I'm going to be demanding a retraction from you. Demanding a snivelling apology for how fucking wrong you were and how big a clown you were to declare that gas behaves like solids. That'll be me, a flat earther, demanding that Thunderfoot corrects his errors and his fraud and his lies about how things behave so he can sell you his religious belief in gravity to get around a second law of thermodynamics violation, sky vacuum. Well, Thunderfoot, you will be on your knees apologising like that snivelling little fuck that put in a fake DMCA claim. You will be him. And if you don't, I will be the one to point out the total lack of humility that you have when you are wrong and demonstrated to be a clown with your bouncy balls. And we will laugh at how bouncy balls aren't gas. We'll laugh at you.
He was right.
Oh, he was right. Oh, my bad. I just needed Chikey to point it out. So, solid bouncy balls behave like unbonded gas, Chikey? Yo, Thunderfoot, I hope you're laughing. I hope you're laughing, mate. This is a flat earther telling you how stupid you are, with your own words of stupidity to sell your religious faith. Your gas isn't like solid bouncy balls, moron. How'd you like those apples? How do my balls taste? Do they taste like gas?
Probably didn't need quite as much of that rant, did I? On
Well,
reflection.
Oh, dear.
I think it was all right. I don't think Thunderfoot really has anything to worry about.
You think?
I think he does, man. I think he does.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean,
Are you serious, dude?
if Nathan Oakley had like a compelling case, then maybe, but he doesn't. So it's not like Thunderfoot's audience is not gonna care about Nathan Oakley.
No,
of course not. Of course not.
So Thunderfoot has nothing to worry about. Like, so.
There's not an audience on earth that's going to care about it. This is what's crazy to me. Even if Nathan had some sort of scientific argument, which he does not, but even if he had something, it would be irrelevant because when you act as unprofessional and as unhinged and as juvenile and irrational and as childish as that, no adult in the world will take you seriously. Literally, no adult in the world will pay him any attention. It's mind-boggling to me that he cannot see that he has literally regressed to the point of being a 9-year-old. I do not understand how he can post that up, to put that video up there and be proud of that video and think that video is going to scare somebody or make somebody. It's psychopathic.
The best he's going to get out of this is like maybe a handful of Thunderfoot's viewers will come on his show because they'll be like, "Wow, this is really stupid. I can't believe it," and they'll kind of do the same thing everybody else, all the other Globers have done, and then eventually get tired of it and leave. That's the best he can hope for here.
Right. I think that is what he's hoping for because he is losing views noticeably now. And
his views are down big time, 100,000 after 3 days.
So I think he picked a million subscriber YouTuber to try and get people in. But I thought it would work, but I don't think it has. I haven't looked, but...
Yeah, his views on Thunderfoot get him like a lot more views. That's why he'll do more of them. You know, some of them are like 2,000 plus straight away. So
right.
What will his exit strategy be for the fact that he just made all these promises like I'm going to do this to Thunderfoot, I'm going to do that to Thunderfoot, and of course none of those things are going to happen. So how is he gonna get out of that? Like,
well, I think he did there because he sort of said, "I'm going to demand a retraction, and if I don't get it, I'm going to keep exposing you," sort of thing. So. I think he's sort of planned in that he's not going to, that he isn't going to get it. Hopefully, Thunderfoot won't bother with him again.
Yeah. Don't give him any more attention.
I'm reluctant to call him a man, but dude, this is a man with a plan, okay? He said with his own words, "I'm going to make you my bitch, Thunderfoot." And so, I mean, I don't know how you guys think that he's not going to do this. He's going to make him his bitch. We can follow this and see, because he promises to us that he's going to be successful with making him issue a retraction on some bullshit. I don't know what he's going to issue a retraction on, but yeah, otherwise, barring that he doesn't do that, he's definitely going to make Thunderfoot his bitch.
Well, he has no leverage, man. He has no.
To say the least.
What was with his weird thing about I'm going to tell them off they're naughty or whatever? These globies, spank them and they're going to love it. It's so weird.
I mean, do you think that end bit? Do you think that was all act, or do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that's him actually raging.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is. I think he's like that, honestly.
I think that is a product of an echo chamber too. I think he's so long in that little echo chamber with Kiwi and those guys, and have forgotten what the real world is like and how adults actually talk and how actually arguments really work and why it is that they're wrong about so much of this stuff. That he's actually starting to drink he's literally drinking his own Kool-Aid.
I think so. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Scott. Yeah, I think he was, he called him out and then was sort of shocked that, he was just sort of mocked, But I don't know what else he expected. I mean, Thunderfoot is famous for mocking, really, isn't he? I mean, Why Do I Laugh at Creationists was...
it was his best series. He had 40 of them.
That's what made him famous, right? So... I don't know what Oakley expected, but it's almost like Scott says, it's almost like, the real world suddenly hit him and he realised how silly he looks,
I've noticed this over the years of Nathan, that the thing he hates the most is if you just laugh or you just smirk or snigger. He hates it. Because it's just talking absolute shit. Do you know what I mean? You just go, just laugh at him. Why are you laughing at? He does not like being laughed at. He does not like it at all.
He doesn't. He doesn't. I mean, look how he reacted to my last video that addressed him specifically and took the piss out of him. He was the same as this. He was raging like he was with this. He never admitted that that's what it was about, but I think that's
fragile ego there.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully one day. Go ahead, Kurt.
I think you guys have got some biased colored glasses on here. You're missing the forest for the trees. One thing that's clearly obvious is Thunderfoot is virtually defenseless. Nathan utterly destroyed him in the debate. If you don't believe me, ask Jeremy. Jeremy will back it up 100%.
It's so true. He will. He'll say it.
Yeah, he's invincible. Look at his debate style. He's untouchable.
It is weird. It's weird that anybody supports him and follows. It's weird to listen to Arwen, who is also an adult man, let someone talk to him like that, and then just sort of meekly, call and respond the way he's supposed to. It is insane to me.
Yeah.
I love Arwen being
literally nauseating. I was feeling ill listening to the sound of Nathan's voice for that long.
Yeah. I know. I must admit, when I'm sitting here watching it, I'm thinking, God, I didn't need to put all this in. It's just him being a twat. Could have got away with a minute of it or something. But I never followed Scott's advice.
I think there's something wrong with me. I actually really like listening to Nathan rage. It's really entertaining because it sounds like something's going to pop in his head at any second. Drop down dead from anger.
You fall asleep to it, right?
And he did do this sort of glober flat earther thing, didn't he? So I think he was trying to, rally the troops a bit as well, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely all aimed at trying to get more people to come on his show.
Yeah.
He's trying to offend as many different people as I can and give them a reason to come on. It's like a challenge. It's like his ultimate dream would be to get Thunderfoot on his show so that he could just mute him and yell at him. That's what he would want to do. But I mean, why would Thunderfoot ever do that? He has no reason to do that.
No, I don't think he has. I think he'd be too busy for that. I've never seen him actually go on anything live, I don't think.
Yeah, he has, but he leaves, doesn't he? Do you remember? He's been on a few things and left quite. He went on... Who did he go on? I have seen him leave before. He just leaves really early, gets angry. He went on with someone, though.
He did that... I guess what I've seen him do live, and again, another thing I think that made him pretty famous was he went to that Reason rally
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? This is in the early days of new atheism, isn't it? And he went there and he had a sort of on the spot argument with
Hovens, like Hovens' son.
Eric.
Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, yep.
And I think was Psi 10 there then? He might not have been. I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
I think Eric had just got it off Psi 10 then. I think he'd just discovered his website and was trying out his pre-sup. Yeah. That was an epic video, if you look for it. Sorry.
One other quick thing I just want to say is that I also have to say I don't think Thunderwood's that great. Like I thought his video was kind of whatever, and I kind of found him annoying too. Like when he was like his stick about like, what's that big warm yellow thing? It's called the sun. Like it just seemed really tired and old and dumb. And I thought to myself after I saw this video, I thought like, there's no way they're going to respond to this. This is such a waste of their time. It sounded so dumb to me. Of course, I was dead wrong. They did the exact opposite and not respond to it. But it just, the whole debate, I don't get it. It's like none of that is really seems like worthy of adult time at this, in 2020. It just seems childish.
Yeah, I mean, even I've stopped doing that. Even I've stopped responding to them. So
exactly.
I hate.
Thunderfoot's sort of leagues and leagues ahead of me, isn't he? In terms of
right. You got 1 million followers. This is not what you should be doing with your time, buddy.
Right. Yeah. But I guess everybody's had a piece of the flat Earth, haven't they? Over the years, most YouTubers have touched on it at some point. It's a current meme, and maybe he wanted to get his bit in before. Before it died. I don't know. Digital Demonic Davros says convict. Why can't I say that? Convict debunks fraud. LMAO. But hurt much jokely. I probably better not.
Referred to Hovind, isn't it?
Probably better not elaborate on that because.
Okay.
I'll be libelous.
Oh, he does get quite upset, doesn't he?
So, I don't know. No, I think he was having a go at Oakley there, actually. But anyway, anyone else got anything to say? There's plenty of time. We're racing through it tonight.
Well, I was going to say something I thought was kind of important, but I don't know if anyone's going to remember. In that video, because I've seen Nathan's in the past, and sometimes in the background he's got all these different pictures, and they're really boring. Like there's some guy, I don't know who it is. It was some random guy with the Flat Earth t-shirt. I don't know who it is.
That's Issa.
It's Issa, yeah. I just think, what the hell's that picture doing there?
No, Issa? No, you said Issa?
Mahowski. He was
Flat Earth. I thought he looked different than that. Maybe I'm thinking Issa was somebody else then. All right, either way, that's fine. No, but I did notice this time he's got this very majestic picture of a man straddling a rocket with his shirt spread open, and with like a king's crown on, and the beard and stuff. So I think that he'll probably get more. He might get people to come in just to see that some more. You know what I mean? So this might end up giving him more views. Who knows?
Well, he's got to do something, hasn't he, to get people in there? Although there's always somebody, isn't there, though, that's prepared to go in. This Chaiki, I think, is a regular. I think Rumpus went on again the other day. I just think, why don't people get the message? Stop going on there. Don't give him the content. It's much more fun to watch his figures going down and see them sit there every day. With one of them having to act the Glober. That's a much more entertaining show, surely.
It's so apparent how the guys who are in no way effective. Like, I know Chuck is a smart guy, so I don't want to say anything about it, but it just things he says are not effective in any kind of way, and he talks kind of from emotion a lot of time. And it's just funny how much airtime Nathan will give people like that, but then, shut up people who are making valid points and stuff like that.
Well, they love it. It's perfect, isn't it, when Rumpus goes on? He's like the villain of the piece, It's... it's like in the soap opera, when the real bad guy is, everyone thought they were dead or they've gone missing for years or whatever, and then suddenly the weak, there's that episode where they reappear and everyone's shocked. It's that, you know what I mean? That's what Rumpus provides. It's, yay, the villain's back, you know.
They always talk about you're rumpusing me. You rumpusing me. They haven't got the word for it.
Well, I must admit, I went on Ranties and Rumpus was on it, and I kind of get what they mean, because he's sort of, if somebody else is speaking, if they say one thing that he doesn't agree with, from that point on, he will try and stop them from speaking. He will keep going and going and going and going underneath them until, while they're, saying whatever else they've got to say. If it's the third word they say that he thinks is incorrect, from that point, he will just keep talking. And it is just horrible to listen to. It really is. I guess, we all do it, but he just will not give way. And you just think, it wasn't your turn. Just let him be wrong. God, it was frustrating.
I remember when I used to go on Nathan's, and Rumpus would send me a message. Do you know what I mean? Like, he'd be sending me loads of messages. I don't even know who it was.
Right.
It's really weird. It's like, tell him about this. He just loves it, doesn't he? He just loves to go on there. I think Rumpus would be lost without Nathan. So
Yeah. He totally would.
Maybe.
He used to come in the Discord after he'd go on and go, so how'd I do? And most of the time we hadn't seen. But typically people would just offer criticism. And it was just like, he was a brick wall. He was like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, he was like that, wasn't he? And I've said to him before, I've said, why do you keep going on there? He says, oh, well, I think I did quite well. I make them look stupid,
Oh, man.
No, you don't, And all the, other people I've spoken to that go on there, they say, oh, I'm just going on there to take the piss out of him. And I think, well, are you though, really? Or is he, are you just providing him with someone to take the piss out of? Which is how it really ends up, I think. But of course, it's none of my business what anybody else does. It's just I like to see his show floundering and, not having people on it, because I'm an evil, petty-minded, silly person, I guess, Anyway, another super chat from Kit, who says Davros has no legs and only one arm. And there's yet another one from Rocket Scientists. It says, how do you make a one-armed Davros fall out of a tree? You wave. So I don't know what poor Davros has done to deserve this.
That's called true stuff. It's all true stuff. That's why he's not a pimp anymore. It's because of like an arm thing.
Yeah, well, I don't get it, of course, but, I just read them out, guys. Sorry, I just do as I'm paid to do. Just a paid shill on this issue. So, have we done with Thunderfoot and Oakley? Let's try never to do Oakley, so let's put him out of our minds until 2021. So, as promised, the eagerly awaited King John III of England documentary was released this week. Let's take a look.
But what if there was a new king? A hidden king?
After a restricted journey across Europe, we made it to the secret film location and we got prepared. We were all a bit nervous shooting what possibly could be the biggest story of the 21st century. So when he arrived, I thought I'd go straight in for the question that was on everyone's minds.
You rolling? Yeah. With this ascension to the throne and the current situation with the coronavirus, is this all tied in with this internal battle in the USA?
Internal battles everywhere. It is the fulfillment of prophecy. The Jews have this prophecy where they have to destroy Europe before the Messiah comes. Mashiach's born on a certain day during Rosh Hashanah after 7 years of certain events, which just happened to be my birthday and the time of my birth. which makes me king of Israel. Now, Israel's supposed to be run by a temple, not a government. So in acknowledgement of me being Mashiach, Israel has not been able to form a government in the last 17 months. On the 10th of July 1967, and at the same time they changed the New Zealand currency from British pounds and pence to New Zealand dollars and cents. But they retained the old coin called a crown and kept it in New Zealand until 1971 in use, right? So they were, symbolically they were saying that the crown is retained in New Zealand. There were signs and symbols all the way through. So if we go back a bit to the coins, from the 23rd of April 1968, 9.5 months after my meeting with King George VI's son, natural biological son, the coins started to appear Elizabeth to Greg. And that went on, that was first on the 5p coin, actually before decimalisation, and then it was last on the £2 coin on the 10th of June 1998. And that was 11,011 days apart, and 11 means the letter M, so it's spelled M0M. So something was starting to happen. I was being brought in and named and symbolised and labelled as royal. From the Battle of Waterloo, the British royal family lost all their money, and they've been funded by the Rothschilds in exchange for breeding rights. So the Rothschilds had the breeding rights to the British royal family from 1819 to 2019.
So what was the purpose of the Rothschilds needing this?
The British royal family were virtually bankrupt from 1815. So the Rothschilds funded the British royal family in exchange for the Rothschilds breeding the royals. So the whole British royal family are Rothschild Batards, and Batard is the royal name for bastard.
So these legal documents that you've registered and given to the British royal family, you've also sent copy of these to various other world leaders?
America, Russia, Israel, England, plus
And
the Pope and the Archbishop of Canterbury.
And nobody contested these documents?
Well, they've accepted them all by passive acquiescence and cognitive avoidance. Pope's abdicated, the Queen's abdicated, and I've been named in movies. I've named myself in the documents with these titles, given the reasons and the history of why I have these titles, and it's been accepted. So I'm now getting phone calls from and interviews with American generals accepting me and putting me in place. Wow. And the whole world is acting on it, and people saying, how excited are you? And I'm going, actually, it just feels normal. It just feels, I've got no ego, super ego. I'm just walking a path, you know. I've been publishing this stuff for the last 18 years. It's in depth and it crosses all barriers and all.
Greg.
Yeah.
It's John.
Okay, cheers. Hey. How are you? How are you? You were in the middle of filming. Quickly.
I'm sorry. I just have to tell you something.
During our time filming with Greg, there were several occasions where he received phone calls giving him vital intel drops about the ongoing worldwide situation.
What he's going to tell me, or what he just told me right now, is that he's going to close down all accounts in the next couple of hours.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and he will for you. So that's pretty much the message for right now. That's all I want to say. Very positive.
Yeah.
So we're on our way, boy.
Yeah.
We're doing great. Okay, but I just wanted to get you that message. All right.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right.
That's brilliant.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Thanks, John.
Right to the group. Bye.
Okay, bye. Sorry about that.
Well, man, I mean,
it happens all the time. I get intel drops all the time. The crown and the orb and the scepter and the sword are going to be left on the throne. The gate's going to be open. I'm going to walk in and I'm going to sit down on the chair. Someone's going to put the crown on my head, take a photo, and we're going to send that around the world, and then we'll have a ceremony later. Wow. That's actually what's going to happen.
It seems very
simple. It's a total acquiescence, right? We're looking at the biggest coup in history because we've also got the acquiescence of the Catholic Church, right? And that's because I fulfilled all the predictions in the Bible. The biggest secret in the Catholic Church is that there were two Jesuses.
Wow.
Right? So I published the Two Jesus Story, volume 4 and 5, and that's why the Catholic Church folded.
I mean, this is.
It gets huge. It gets huge, and it took me 3 months when I first found out there were two Jesus. It took me 3 months of cognitive dissonance to even begin to accept it.
Right. So they were from the same part of the world, Dan?
Yeah, they were third cousins. Everyone's looking for the new reality and who the leaders of the new reality are, and that's based on the fulfillment of prophecy. Like Trump's got prophecies about him from those books, and I've got prophecies about me from the Revelation, last book of the Bible, and that actually finished. Revelation was actually completed on the 30th, 31st of May 2020, and then the next day, on the 1st of June, Donald Trump gets his Hebrides Bible and he walks out of the White House, goes to 1525 St. John's Church, holds his Bible up as the symbol that Revelation had been completed. We're creating a new age in terms of royalty, in terms of government and governance and taxation and banking and law and religion.
But have you created all of this? Have you helped design all these things?
Yeah. Well, yes. And I've been part of it, and I've been invited to be part of it on a larger level.
King John III of England. I like him. I don't know why.
I really like him.
But he says a lot of stupid shit that is entertaining to watch, and he kind of seems harmless, you know?
Well, fuck, I hope so. I'm bending the knee right now, dude. Especially if he's the king of Israel. I'm right now bending the knee.
Right. He is king of Israel at Kosho. So yeah, he's your king too, as well as mine. Oh, and I think America's king as well, Lewis. I think he has an argument for that in the first thing I saw.
Well, he can have all the arguments he wants. It's not doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, that's not that's not what I expect from a good subject, Lewis. No.
Yeah, Lewis, be cool, man. I like you, man. I want you to keep your tongue. This guy, he seems cool, but if he's taking speakerphone phone calls during an interview, he's got fucking balls to the floor, man. So I don't know. I wouldn't cross him.
Yeah, your Arsenal will be no match for a load of Grenadier guards in bright red tunics, Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Unless you have someone who, rides on ahead shouting, the British are coming, then maybe you'll have a chance.
Well, how about that interviewer? I think some props are in order for him.
Yeah.
Receiving this earth-shattering information, one bit after another, and just takes it all in stride. Cool as a cucumber. No.
Yeah.
What about the phone call? What about the phone call? I don't think that guy even sounded American. I think he sounded like someone who was trying to sound American.
He said at the end, "We're on our way, boy."
Yeah, yeah, that isn't what an American would say, is it?
No, that was on the up and up. That was a very, very official phone call.
Yeah, it wasn't set up at all. Yeah.
No, not a bit.
I said, man, if you're a regular person and you get a phone call and you're in an interview, you either wait for the phone call or you quietly take it. You want to hear what they're saying. But if you're the king and you got nothing to hide, you take that on speakerphone. You let the world hear what has to be said. Yeah. No surprises. He's good to go.
Yeah, that was totally. Yeah, why would you have it on speakerphone? And also at the beginning of this documentary, when they first go into it as an introduction, you actually hear the clapperboard and they go, interview of the king, take one, click, and then they start the interview. So, if they're doing different takes and a phone call happens in the middle of a take, you do another take, don't you, where there isn't a phone call happening, So, yeah, that was so staged. I kind of think the interviewer guy, he's in on it somehow.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What gives you that impression?
Well, he's definitely tried to give the impression that that's not the case. Because if you remember, the first time we had this on, this King John guy is in a hangout with two sort of unknown QAnon people. And and then I never actually showed it. I always just wished I had. But then this Mahoney, he's called, the interviewer, when he turns up sort of at the end, towards the end of this hangout, and says, I've been watching and it's really interesting. And I was going to be making these action movies, but this seems more interesting. So I want to do this with you now. So, I can come and film you and tell you a story. So this sort of happens live in this hangout. And so he gives the impression that he's just sort of stumbled across it because he knows these guys, these Q guys who are doing the interview, and he's watching the hangout, and and that's how he knows about it. So he's definitely trying to pretend that he's not in on it. Is
Well,
the point.
maybe he's a simpleton who's bought into this narrative that these other people believe. I guess it's possible.
But he's a prolific YouTuber. He posts at least once a day, and sometimes 2 or 3 times, and it's all conspiratorial stuff. He even posted, actually, today, first time I've seen it, he mirrored an Eric Dubay video.
Oh God.
Right.
Well, maybe he's just dove into this grand narrative and wants to believe it.
But I'm not sure what his angle was, because the video was, I think it was Eric Dubay debunking a debunk of Eric Dubay. So someone had done a debunk of him, and then he does a debunk of the debunk. And I think that's what it was, but I didn't have time to pay it a lot of attention. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely been on YouTube a long while, and clearly he knows about making movies, and he talks about how he's working in he's worked in television. But that's obvious from the production standards. I mean, it's really, really well made. This thing in cinematographic terms. In terms of cinema, it's probably a better way to say that.
I want to second what Curved had said, just because I totally agree with that. That the because it's easy for an interviewer, especially somebody from that we talk, like the people that talk with flat earthers a lot of the time. You hear something and the questions they ask immediately are kind of quick response questions, like your instinct of what you would ask. But this guy's kind of I like the questions that he asks in response to the silly things that that dude's saying,
right?
Because he's stringing them along, you know what I mean? And I mean, at least that's what it seems. I don't think he doesn't believe anything this guy's saying, of course. So yeah, I think he asked the good questions, which is hopefully going to keep this going for some time, because so far, I mean, this is my favorite part of your show every week, is just when this king comes on, man.
You know what? A few other people have said that as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on him, because he seems to keep popping up, and people are making videos about him, for and against him. So I'm going to keep an eye on King John III, and hopefully he'll keep providing us with content. Shall we do a final clip?
Yeah. I was just going to say, he's got an innocent charm to him.
Yeah,
I think
he has, hasn't he? There's something. It just seems kind of harmless. I guess I don't really like the way it sort of attaches itself to QAnon, but I think there's a lot of people in QAnon they're just not interested in it, or don't buy it or whatever. So I think there's some people do, but I think maybe not that many, and so it's pretty harmless, and
I say it one way though, so it is a bit weird. Like, he is a bit weird doing this if he's just winding people up,
All we deal with is weirdos, man. We're weird.
No, I mean, that's really weird.
And interestingly, if you think about it, he's the second New Zealander on the show today.
Yeah, I know. New Zealand's actually very entertaining. They make very funny comedies. So very witty.
Shout out to Concords.
Yeah, Jacinda Ardern, she made a joke about her table, which actually made me giggle on her Facebook post. When she goes, "I'm coming to you live from the dining room table," and she goes, "It's just a normal table, actually." It's quite funny the way she said it. And it was, bits and pieces like that she said, I thought made her very, very natural person. Sorry, go ahead, Kerb.
Well, I'm thinking this guy needs an official song, and I hope that he adopts Avenged Sevenfold's "Hail to the King." I can just picture that music playing with him like walking up to the throne and up to the microphone. It would be perfect.
Oh, God. Well, talking of kings, our very own King of Flat Earth, Chemo, was all over Flat Earth this week. He debated a PhD and Fight the Flat Earth, both times declaring victory. Here are some clips from, and let me stress this, clips from Chemo's coverage of his performance. So all of the graphics and stuff are his and not mine. Let's watch.
Are you one of the top 30 intellects on the face of the planet?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes? Two opposing images and observations. One is the object over the horizon, one is the horizon behind the object, sir. How do we get the pipe behind the object?
So you are not moving the pipe. And it is the most, what you are observing is refraction of a different character. So in the example in the video, what you're observing is a very narrow, discontinuous set of atmospheric conditions that only show a strip of what's over the horizon. Whereas in the atmospheric case, there's a continuum of refraction that makes the object, that makes the vista appear continuous over the. So that there's minutely different refraction paths for each of the light beams from along that line from you to the apparent horizon.
What is the point of the image on the right, sir? Why demonstrated the image on the far right? What's the purpose of that, sir?
The purpose of the image.
On the right, sir. What are you demonstrating on the far right,
things
sir?
can be refracted around the horizon.
Yes, that was the purpose of that video, is to show that light can, in appropriate circumstances, refract around obstructions.
So
Physical
you're showing that objects can refract around a physical obstruction.
The light from an object can refract around a physical obstruction.
Okay. So that physical obstruction did not move, sir. The pipe, sir, didn't move. So why did the physical obstruction in the real world on the far left, why did that move, sir? If it's physical like the pipe.
It didn't.
It didn't move, sir. No, if I can demonstrate and show absolute perfectly flat parallel, this will demonstrate that we can... yes, I can.
No, you can't. I'll put money on it if you can't.
I bet my channel on it that you can, right?
That what? That I can't show liquid...
Yeah, if you can show me... If you can show me evidence that the Earth is flat, then I will delete my channel.
No. I'm going to show you that liquid, like a canal or a bath, the liquid is absolutely flat and level and parallel.
No, it's not.
Sorry, well, it is level, you're right, but I'm afraid that Wallace...
And it's parallel,
Spurs, I'm
any
sorry, but you can't
motion of the water.
Are flat, yeah.
Any motion of the water is going to result in the surface being not perfectly level, okay, or not perfectly flat. I'm sorry. So you're going to fail in your demonstration, even in a bathtub. Go ahead, fight.
And even the Bedford level experiment showed that the canal was not flat. So I'm sorry, but your claim has already been disproven.
So you said you're going to give up your channel if I do what?
If you can show me 100% evidence that water is completely flat all the time, I will delete my channel.
No, I don't want you to delete your channel. So don't bet that. Bet something else.
No, I'm betting. I'm betting that.
Look, if I show measurable liquid, absolutely, completely level, flat, parallel, you're going to delete your channel, Craig.
Yeah, but you said measurable, right? So I'd expect measurements to come with that. I'd expect measurements
absolutely
to come with that.
We're talking. I'm talking perfect.
And you've got measurements to back it up, do you?
Absolutely, 100%.
Cool, let's see it.
So you really want to bet your channel? So what? You want to bet your channel?
Yeah. If you can show me water measured to be 100% flat, I'd delete my channel.
If you can prove this to be true with evidence, me and Fight will donate $100 to a charity of your choice. If you can't, you have to donate $15. $15. Come on, man. We're not putting up this month's rent, and you're not prepared to put up $1,000.
You're not going to lose. You're not going to lose, are you? You're not going to lose, are you?
Or do you have $1,000 to put up?
Let's go.
Spurs, do you have $1,000 to put up?
Of course. Anyway, so let's say goodbye to Craig's channel. Even though I don't want you to do that, but you did say that. We've got that on.
I thought we'd agreed on money. I thought we'd agreed on money rather than channel.
Yeah.
Are you changing the bet now?
No, it was both 1,000 and the channel, right?
No, it's one or the other. Which one do you want?
You were calling us names. You were mocking us, ridiculing us. Now I'm about to demonstrate that absolutely perfect.
Idiots.
Right, play the video.
The glass leaves the conditioning end of the melting zone at a temperature of 1100 degrees centigrade through a narrow canal, from where it passes to the heart of the process, a bath of molten tin. Here the glass spreads out, following the perfect flatness of the tin, so that the upper and lower surfaces of the glass remain absolutely flat and parallel.
There you go. Pause, 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 rewind, pause.
We heard it, but it doesn't really does it? Because
can you rewind it?
Wait,
let
me say
Hold on,
something.
Spurs.
Okay?
Hold on, Spurs. Go ahead.
But we're now, that's 10 point practical.
Are you gonna listen, or are you gonna just spout your right?
You go to Spurs' channel, which is Under No Pressure, and watch that video. It's 20 minutes long, the whole thing. It's hilarious.
Hey, man. I got to tell you, if it comes to the competition like this, I was going to say to everybody, when it comes to the competition like this with Chemo, who's a flat earther, sure, and Fight the Flat Earth, who's a glober, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna side with Chemo, man. I don't like Fight the Flat Earth, so I don't mind that he makes it like Chemo's good at that, and sometimes he does it to a friend of mine or something, but he's good at making people look foolish. You know what I mean? And
he did it in such an entertaining way.
Yeah.
I love the way he goes. I love it when he goes, oh, no, don't bet your channel. I don't want you to bet your channel. And then a minute later, it's going $1,000. You're not going to lose, are you? It's just, he did all the sort of standard, like a sort of bunco booth type of thing. Like the guy at the fair who's trying to sort of draw people in, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that, you know what I mean? Like bluffing his way into the bet and everything. And also, I thought his video was superb. I just think he makes the best videos,
He does. He's good at stringing clips together and putting the right graphics with the right, just really kind of draw out. So yeah, I mean, I got give him props.
Where he got that casino open and the money being counted and then winner. I just thought that was amazing. I mean, he was completely wrong. That whole glass thing, I remember seeing that. Oh, maybe 3 years ago, someone came up with that. I think maybe Hank or someone like that. So it's not a new thing, and of course he was completely wrong. Although I don't know. I mean, how flat is that? It must be flat to within a certain tolerance, right?
Well, flat and parallel. The top and bottom of the glass can be the same distance from each other. Along that length. However, that does not mean that the flatness, which is a change in elevation, is not, or it doesn't mean that it's a plane. Problem is, he's citing a 250 meter long section of glass, I believe, which is about 820 feet.
Right.
Over that distance, the deviation from a plane is about a 1/20th of an inch sagita in the middle. So when these clowns use these words like absolutely flat and all that, in a sense, it is flat. There is no change in elevation. It would be level all the way end to end, but it's not a plane, and that is the difference.
Well, I wonder though, Curve. I wonder if they, because how I'm thinking of it like this, right? They have to construct this thing, this bed that this glass is made in, and they obviously, when they construct it, they're gonna make it as flat, level as they can, right? So they're gonna do that to within a certain tolerance, and I'm just wondering if that tolerance might be even more accurate than, say, a 20th of an inch. And if that were the case, then they would, by definition, be taking that curvature out. I know this is entirely irrelevant, but I'm just wondering if in this case, this is something which is actually flat, and not just level.
That's conceivable. If they could do it that way, but however, then it would, this is a matter of precision. It would not be level at each end. Let's say if it were level in the middle, but only out by the tiniest of margins. That's why something of this size is no good at all for the flat earth debate question issue problem. You know what I mean? It's just not big enough. It doesn't matter either way, whichever way they did it.
No, I know. I was just musing, just wondering about it when I was, making the video, and I was thinking, I wonder if it is actually proper flat.
Yeah, if they were able to do that, somebody needs to alert Jeremy to their technique, and let's get that thing out to a mile.
Yes, But it's a good performance from Chemo. He didn't win anything, by the way. Let me just make that clear. I know he claims he did, but I thought that Tony Purcell did pretty well. He was a bit of a handful for him, and I think he probably deserved that because they did sort of spring him on Chemo in what was supposed to be a formal debate, and that does seem a little bit unfair to sort of bring in a ringer at the end, So, so I don't know, but I thought he did pretty well. He lost his temper a couple of times, but I can't criticize a bloke for that, can I? 'Cause let me finish. Yeah.
Sorry.
Why?
Still talking.
Yeah, people should let me finish. Actually, they should remember that.
Nearly there.
Yeah. Oh God, am I that boring? I'm that catchphrasy, am I? Go ahead.
Well, you're gonna be in the bingo. I told you that. Those phrases will be in the bingo. But I know everyone agrees with this, but it doesn't matter. I disagree, and a lot of times I don't agree with his tactics even. But I do. I mean, I still firmly, at least stand by what I said before. So I think he's probably. I mean, I put him in the ranking for top flat earther, at least when it comes to argumentative. Not as far as effectiveness, but just as far as resilience, I think like a resilience in the argument. Yeah, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah. Well, you know, people know what I think about him. People think he's my pet and things like that, and he can do no wrong and this sort of thing. And you know, I tell him off regularly for things, but I do think he's entertaining, I have to say, and he never really loses his temper. He's always polite, and you know, I think that makes him, you know, it makes him an amiable fellow to have around, let's say. Anyway, any more? Go ahead.
I was saying that's what it is. Though a lot of the time is keeping cool when other people aren't, and really like, you know, focusing on the insecurities or the flaws in somebody else's, either like something they said or whatever. Like he's good at he's good at least that's what I mean about the resilience. He's good at staying alive in the argument, and because I said you have to remember that these people are wrong, so they're wrong from the get-go, and that's like an absolute fact. They're wrong and you're right, and so anybody who can stay alive in an argument like that without the tactics of Nathan Oakley of muting and all this kind of stuff, strictly by using your argument against you,
right?
There's something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something to be said with it.
At 2 a.m. as well, wasn't this at 2 a.m? I remember watching this.
Right.
This was well late at night. This one,
and it is in those sort of things. It is a bit of a game, isn't it? And you know, he claims that he won the game, and I don't think that's true. But I think he put up a good fight, you know. All right, shall we wrap it up? Go ahead.
Can we just agree that Craig is the only person to like lose consecutive flat Earth debates? As a baller?
Yeah.
Did you see? He's on the wrong side of this, because it's not us versus them, Globers. It's like, you know, Globers versus Flutters. It's guys like him who take this, like, even it's in his name. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just not a fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a serious battle.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Kosho. I do. Yeah. Did you see? Because him and Team Skeptic were going to be debating these two young Earth creationists, and they sort of cried off from this debate a couple of times, and then it actually happened on Modern Day Debate, but without Fight the Flat Earth, and it was Team Skeptic and I don't know who the other guy was, and the young Earth creationists are, I think he's called Plausible Improbable or something like that. I don't know. Did you see it, Kat?
I did. I think I saw a bit of it, but I just find it really hard to watch Team Skeptic. I just find it really annoying. It's not. It's just a fight. It's so childish.
I just wondered how well he performed, because it did seem like they had, you know, some, you know, reasonably sophisticated arguments. They weren't just, you know.
Yeah, they probably made a tit of themselves in there as well. Just they're kind of annoying. They're only good at sort of arguing Nathan Thompson, because he's childish too. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
I'm not saying this whole thing is like really mature, but do you know what I mean? There is a level of, you know, when you're just sticking up memes to trigger people, when it's supposed to be a debate. It's just
right. Yeah, that is lame, isn't it? When they do that.
I don't know.
I was going to watch that thing, but that was another thing I missed when I was feeling crap. So I never bothered to watch it in the end. He's been banging them out, hasn't he, on that Modern Day Debate? Just
he's doing as well, doesn't he?
One after another. Some night he's done 2 on one night. Some nights, I think.
Yeah. I support his Patreon as I support your Patreon, Jim.
Oh, thank you. Yes, support my Patreon. In fact, let me say right now, a great big thank you to everyone who has donated to my PayPal so far. And thank you so much, everyone, for the super chats, especially Kit. If you can support the show, please follow the links in the description. And please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Join us again next week for more fabulous flatness. In the meantime, if you see something you think should be included in the show, please post a timestamp link in the comments section of this video, or join our Discord server. The link is in the description, along with channel links for tonight's panel. Our Discord has nearly 2,000 members, and we manage to keep a conversation going virtually 24/7. We welcome members with opposing views, so click the link and join us. Thanks again to tonight's fabulous panel. Thanks to all of you for watching. We'll be back around the same time next week, so until then, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. See you.
Talking about it and do something! Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate. Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent with your friend?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.